Be right back. All right, well, we will get started. And we are here for Health and Wealth Wednesday. And what an amazing time it is, 3:33 here in Pacific time, 3:33. Today is May 22nd, 2024. And I have some amazing men on Health and Wealth Wednesday. I'm excited to introduce. With no further ado, I'm going to introduce Greg Chambers and Brad Child out of Arizona. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Greg. So I would just like to share a little bit briefly why I'm doing these for those who are tuning in for the first time. Some will tune in live. Majority of people are going to tune in over the next few days as they are working, coming home, looking at this on a weekend. And I'd just like to express the fact that our goal today is to bring hope to those that are hopeless, those that have health issues that have been nagging them, pain that is chronic, those that viewing that have loved ones that are looking for a solution. And what we're talking about today is natural, non-transdermal patches, meaning nothing from the patch transfers into the body. They're about a quarter size. And unlike a nicotine patch, which is transdermal, these are non-transdermal. There's no contraindications, meaning it won't interfere with any medications you're on. And these were invented back in 2004. We're celebrating a 20-year anniversary. They came out with a different type of a patch that is still around. There's a two-patch system called the energy patches for our Navy SEALs. And with that, we have a veteran, Greg Chambers. Greg is a former Navy SEAL and served in the service actually from 1992 to 2007. And then came back into service for another 4 years. So a total of 19 years in service. And Greg and I actually met at a church in Scottsdale at a men's Bible study where he was introduced to the patches by Jeff Pattison, who introduced me to the patches. His clinic was using them with patients. And here we are today. So Greg, thanks for coming on. If you would just briefly share some of your health challenges as well as what you've seen over the last year since you've been using these cellular regeneration patches.
Prior to my introduction, thankfully Jeff was kind enough to share with me.
And I'm sorry, Greg. Thank you for serving our country.
Absolutely.
I bleed red, white, and blue. So yes, sir. Go ahead.
The greatest honor of my life. I had suffered a major heart attack due to a pulmonary embolism in my lung. Had stopped my heart. I was coded, so I was gone. They defibrillated my heart 4 times, got it restarted, but I could not regain respiration on my own. So they placed me in an induced coma on, and that was the prognosis, is that I had between 24 and 36 hours, and I would check out. So that's where I was.
When did Greg, when did that happen?
March 23rd of 2018.
2018. Okay, thank you.
And so fast forward, it took me 5.5 months of physical, cognitive, speech therapy, occupational therapy to regain the use of my faculties. I was 100% immobile when I regained consciousness. I couldn't use my arms or my legs. I couldn't speak. And so 5.5 months later, I walked out. And that was kind of where the challenges really began. I had 4 blood panels for those 4 years. My blood pressure was extremely elevated in the 170-ish to 120-ish range. My LDL cholesterol was elevated. My HDL cholesterol was too low. I was on the verge between stage 2 and stage 3 kidney failure. And it was not looking super good. At the time, I was using 9 different prescription medications. So I kind of was of the mindset that it wasn't when I was going to have another heart attack. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. Well, fast forward to being introduced to these patches. I saw one on Jeff's hand, and it piqued my interest. And I said, "Are you trying to quit smoking?" And Jeff said, "I don't smoke." And then I said, "Well, what is the use for the patch?" And he explained to me a bit about what it did, and he didn't really elaborate. He just said, "Why don't you just put one on and tell me if you notice anything?" And so I put one on, and I had forgot it was on my hand. And I had trouble sleeping for about the past 30 years. I never really slept more than about 2 hours a night. And that night when I went home after Bible study, I went immediately to bed because my work schedule was, I used to have to get up about 12:30 a.m. in the night. And so I was concerned about getting to sleep. Well, I don't remember falling asleep. And I woke up almost exactly 6 hours later, uninterrupted. And I hadn't enjoyed that. I had not enjoyed that feeling since I was a child, and it was euphoric.
Wow.
And so I immediately asked Jeff. I go, "Hey, Jeff, does this have any type of indication for sleep problems?" He's like, "Yeah, that's one of the major ones." And so I immediately I need these. I don't care about anything else. I need these. So that was where I jumped on board, but I had no idea what these were going to do in my life. I had no idea what they were going to do in regards to my health, my heart, even my physical performance. I've been a bodybuilder most of my life, and I had discontinued using steroids after I'd been saved. And I just never thought that there'd be a replacement. Boy, was I mistaken. Within 3 weeks of administering these, I started to feel extremely, just an overwhelming sense of well-being. And so one day I just woke up. I thought, I'm going to see what's going on with this because something's changing. And so I went to the gym, and my intention was to crush myself to see what I was capable of. And man, was I surprised. Long story short, I finished an entire leg workout. The finish, after everything else was done, I was able to leg press 1,440 pounds for 11 reps. Oof. And I thought, okay, this is real. This is something that's really happening.
So, hey, time out, Greg.
That was not the end.
Time out. We got to let people catch up here. So here you are. You stop using steroids. At what point were you off steroids before you started patching? How long?
Oh, about I think about 4.5 months.
Okay, so you're off 4.5 months. You put these patches on, you start sleeping, you're in the gym, and you're at the end of your leg workout, and you rack 1,440 pounds, and you press it 11 times. What?
And I don't mean 11 sissy reps or fast reps. I mean 11 slow 5-second negative reps, full reps.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can appreciate that. I've spent some time in the gym myself, but I have not done that. That's impressive.
But that is when I really started to get excited, and but I was not aware for the next thing that happened after my anniversary, my 5th year of the heart attack. I had my year cardiovascular appointment, which is the nuclear stress test and the EKG, ultrasound, full blood panel, all that. And I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I had not had good news. And so I went in and I completed everything, and I was getting dressed, and the Dr. Batka, came into the examination room. He said, "Hey, when you get dressed, I need to speak to you in my office." And I thought, "Oh, geez, here it comes. I'm going to be scheduled for open heart." And he shut the door, and he asked me. He said, "Hey, I have appreciated your honesty with me about your steroid use and all that stuff, but I need to know what's going on with you. He goes, what have you been doing differently than you have in the past? And I said, well, really nothing other than, stopping using steroids and just clean diet. That's it. And he said, well, that doesn't account for this. He goes, I'm just going to start with your blood panel. He goes, do you remember your blood pressure the last time you were here? And I said, yeah, I do. I remember not wanting to come back. It was 177 over 126. And he goes, yeah, that's exactly right. He goes, I'm just going to read it to you. It's 110 over 66. My cholesterol numbers were exactly perfect. I was sitting at about 97 on my HDL and about 103 on my LDL. The evidence of my kidney failure was gone, wasn't able to be detected on the blood panel.
Wow.
And the most alarming part for him was the EKG. When a person has a heart attack, that leaves an electrical record on the heart of the stoppage. And he laid it out, the 3-foot long piece of paper, and there was no indication that I'd had a heart attack. He told me himself, he said, if I didn't physically place these stents in your heart, I don't know that you had a heart attack.
Wow.
So that was where the rubber hit the road for me, because I thought I was going to be taking these medications and feeling this way for the rest of my life. And this set me free of that. This gave me a whole new renewed lease on life.
Yeah, so let's just stop there. Allow those that are listening this to come back, because if those that are viewing don't realize this, heart disease is the #1 killer of both men and women in the United States. Heart issues. So here's Greg off of steroids after using them from the age of 16 basically to 54, 28 years using steroids, off of them for 4.5 months, starts then to patch. How long after you started patching, Greg, did you see your cardiologist that helped you after your heart attack? How long after you'd been patching? How long were you patching at that point?
I received that report, and I'd only been patching for about 5.5 months.
Wow. So here he is. He says, I can't even tell based on the EKG that you even had a heart attack, that, unless I had done it myself. So here you are. Oh, first and foremost, a walking miracle in and by itself, because you were dead for 9 minutes. I know that. Yeah, that's a miracle. And
Crazy.
now then you got this non-transdermal patch. I'll take mine off. This is an example of one. This actually helps build my immune system, detoxes my body. Non-transdermal, nothing enters the body. As I said earlier, no contraindications. It won't interfere with any medications. By the way, I'm sharing my story on Facebook in the next day or two, and why I'm passionate about sharing this with people, just like Greg is right now. Who wouldn't after your report? But this non-transdermal patch means that nothing from the patch goes in your body. That means that your body, Greg, healed itself 100%, 100%, which is pretty amazing in and by itself. Yeah. So the problem is at age 30, about half our body's stem cells go dormant. They go to sleep. And by 65, we virtually have no active stem cells. They estimate 10 to 20%. So this patch gives your body a boost, stimulating a peptide. We have several peptides in our body, but one of which is called GHK copper peptide. It's proven to wake up our body's stem cells. Global patents offered in 82 countries, like people like you and I. And the cool thing is, it's not 10, 20, 30, 40. We've talked to people that have gone out of the country to have stem cells injected from somebody else and have spent $100,000 to $150,000, not guaranteed that even work. So this is activating your own body stem cells that then went and helped repair and regenerate your body in a relatively short time. Just so people that are watching, that's not normal. You're like a one-patch wonder from the standpoint of you slept 6 hours after you put it right on immediately. Now I want you to know I could tell because I did this for the sole sake of sleep that I could tell in the first week, but I didn't sleep immediately like you did. That's pretty amazing. So 50% of those viewing will respond immediately. The other 50% they recommend a month per decade of age. So in your case, you should have allowed 5 to 6 months. Your body responded much sooner, which is amazing. Praise the Lord, eh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Now I'm going to shift so that we stay on here on schedule with Brad. So now how long have you and Brad known each other?
Oh, geez. I think we're approaching a little over 20 years.
Little over 20 years. You introduced Brad to these patches, similar to how Jeff introduced them to me, and Jeff introduced them to you. So, Brad, share a little bit about your health history and what you've noticed. You've only been patching for about 3 weeks, so share.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my you know, yeah, I've known Greg for 20 years. So like I just gotta say that real quick because I saw him go through all the hard stuff, everything they had to go through. And
Hey,
you see
wait
this
a minute.
big
Let me interrupt you real quick
yeah.
because I just learned that Greg's a former Navy SEAL, a
Yeah.
badass. I want to know sooner. Are you?
Am I?
Are you a
I'm
former
like a
SEAL too?
ninja.
All right, good. All right,
So
go ahead, sir.
yeah, so I mean, automatically knowing Greg, knowing each other, we've known each other for so long, he comes to me with this patch, and of course I got interest right away because Greg's this big muscle man and, former Navy SEAL and a good friend. So my story though is 3 weeks patching. So I was injured for 30 years. Um, Bad car crash, a head-on collision, 150 miles an hour into a pole. None of us should have survived that. But my leg was so broken, it was not repaired correctly. So I went through all these years, 30 years of chronic pain, tons of medications for pain, 21 surgeries, that when I came to back to Arizona, I was gone for a few years. I came back, and my only plan to coming back was how do I slow down my injury from continuing to get worse? How can I slow it down, basically? So when Greg introduced me to the patches, and I kind of thought, like, I support my friend, I'll do it for him. But what happened is like literally like in 3 days, I started to feel like brain fog lifted. And for myself, because I've been injured for so long and basically numb, um, any type of change I'm going to feel immediately. So I could actually feel in my leg like some thumping in there, like a spasm, then really bad foot pain by the end of the day, and then wake up the next day and the thumping's gone, the pain in my foot is gone, and my leg has improved a little bit. And
Wow.
it's like, it doesn't make sense. And then I noticed other things like my taste was coming back. Like sweet things were too sweet that I had always had before. Now all of a sudden it's like my appetite is changing. How much I eat is changing. So I lost a bunch of weight, which has improved my leg health because I'm not a 200-pound meat sack walking around anymore. I'm probably, 180 or less.
Wow.
So I can actually go for walks now because I want to. So, you know, pain is like it really gets into everything as a person. So there's an old saying, you never know the freedom that you have until you know how much burden you've carried, something like that.
Hmm.
But It's unbelievable. It really, really, really is. And
So,
the people that see me are like, you're walking. You don't have a limp. What are you doing differently?
wow.
And it's an immediate connection with people because I do understand how you feel. I understand what it's like you can't sleep at night. I understand that. And I can't thank Greg enough for showing it to me.
Yeah.
Really has saved my life because now I get to experience a life that I've never had. Um,
So Brad, if I can interrupt and interject. So, um, you've been on a lot of different medications, pains meds. Are you phasing off of those? Are you still on them? Where you at there?
it's really interesting you say that because what I've noticed is like the medications, I still have to take some, but they last a lot longer.
Mhm.
Um, Part of my daily routine has been for 20 years is wake up in the morning, take a pain pill because my leg's going to hurt as soon as I walk out of the bed. So I use one of these patches that I put it right on my injury and I put it on at night when I go to sleep. And gosh darn it, I woke up this morning and my leg doesn't hurt. And
Wow.
it's like, this is so bizarre. And I'm doing this at 51 years old. And I mean, so I've not like had a condition and this is how I feel. I'm like, had a condition, got better, and I'm healing differently than I never have. And what I want to say is so, like, when I said early on that I came back to Arizona to slow down the degeneration of my injury again, it's done the opposite. My ankle doesn't pop anymore. I don't get cramps. I can walk. No more stuff, muscle spasms. The patches are like drink more water, changing my food, all these things that they tell you all through the pain world, like don't eat certain meats, don't eat certain stuff because that causes more inflammation in your body.
Yes.
So now that I'm getting better, it's like I don't even want it.
You,
Strange.
yeah, and just let's make it clear, you're only 3 weeks in. And I know
3 weeks.
Greg said, hey, hydrate, allow a month per decade of age before you evaluate this thing, Brad. I know he told you that. So your
Yep.
expectations were, gosh, 5 months, that's going to be around September. And here we are, the end of May, and you're already experiencing some amazing results. That's fantastic. You and Greg your bodies are responding quickly on this. So that's great. So we're going to make sure we get you back here in September, October, do an update to get an idea where you're really at. So you've lost some weight in 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like I said, like I was saying to you, it's not like everybody kind of looks for or feels a transformation. Every day is a transformation for me.
that's fantastic.
And it's like something that is so foreign to me. To feel good is foreign to me because
Yes.
I've been hurt for so long. So
30 years of your life,
um
21 surgeries. Holy smokes. That's a lot.
21 surgeries, 21 recoveries, 21 times stitched up, removed, hardware, the bandages, the casts. I mean, surgery to me is like, how do I stay out of that? And
Mm.
now I'm at a later part of my life where things are supposed to start breaking down. So,
You have
and
hope. You have hope, my friend. You have renewed hope. That's
yeah,
exciting.
man,
Very
five
exciting.
months, 5 months, you're going to be calling me up. I'll be riding on a unicycle or something.
Exactly. That's awesome. You know, just just
Yeah.
just brain fog alone, for those that are viewing, that's a big issue. A lot of people got COVID. They're not the same. Their hair is thinning. We have women that are using this to help with their hair, nails, brain fog, mental clarity, just a sense of well-being, which Greg mentioned. That's just a peace. And I noticed that within a couple months after doing this, just a sense of peace. And as many know my story, sleep was the first. And in month 4, I'm off of anxiety medication I was addicted to for over 18 years, could not get off of it, off cold turkey, April 17th of 2023. And then in the next month, when I didn't think it could get any better, my blood test came back after 13 years of doing testosterone replacement therapy. I don't need it any longer. That was costing me $500 a month. So pretty exciting when blood tests come back, and that's what's going to start showing with you is start doing the blood tests, and it'll show you as you start weaning off some of these medications. As Greg said, his blood pressure 110/66, 97 HDL, LDL 103, no indication of kidney failure was detected, and his cardiologist is saying, "Hey, what are you doing? I can't even tell you had a heart attack." That just, yeah, for those that are watching, this isn't thousands of dollars, folks. This is a cup of coffee. Do without Netflix. Cancel your cell phone, for God's sake. Invest in yourself. Do something. Get off of your internet. Give this thing a shot. Water, patch consistently, and be patient. Period. Your miracle's around the corner. Can't guarantee anything. In fact, I'll read my disclosure so everybody knows, and I stay within compliance. But these are non-transdermal patches. Non-transdermal. All products are not intended to cure, treat, diagnose, or prevent any diseases. If you're pregnant or nursing or on medications or have other medical conditions, please consult with your physician first. Our patching podcasts are for educational purposes only. I just want to state that not one time in 18 years did my physician ever come to me and say, "You know what, Rich, would you like to get off that medication? I've got a plan for you." Not once. So don't expect your physician to be happy that you're going to get off a blood pressure medication like my assistant did when I started patching my assistant, my financial planning assistant. I'll have on this show here, podcast. It was between month 3 and month 4 off of high blood pressure medication. She hasn't taken it since. Been off of it now for almost a year. That's exciting news. I know what it's like to be set free. All of a sudden that leash is off they took the collar off, the leash is off. Every time I went camping, every time I went hunting, I had to make sure I had my medication with me. If I didn't, I was concerned. I never imagined I could be off medication. I never imagined I could be off testosterone. I thought I'd have to do it the rest of my life. So we're here to give people hope. I want to thank you guys for coming out. Greg, I mean, what a friend introducing you, Brad, to this. Brad's going to pay it forward. He's already telling people about this, sharing with others. Amazing, guys. Hey, thank you for taking the time.
Appreciate thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Rich. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Hey, just a real quick, those that are viewing that are friends with Brad and Greg, contact these guys. They know enough about this to be able to get and customize a package based on your individual health concerns and be able to get it on a wholesale pricing basis. If you have questions with me, come on out to our Introduction to Patching 101. We do it every single Tuesday. Private message me. I'll get you an invitation. Invest 45 minutes to learn a little bit more about this before you make a judgment call. I was a skeptic for 2 months. I get it. All right. But I will provide you with more information than I got in 2 months. You'll have it in 45 minutes so that you can make a decision as well and make the investment. So
got to do it.
We will stop our recording.